Well, this site is thought to be actually the 64 mine, site number EC0159.
It's July 14th, 1999. We are at the 64 mine, which is on the north side of Dixie Gulch, and we are looking at the shaft as it is shown on the map. This again was one of those quartz veins that they developed with a shaft. Looks as though there might be a few other workings around here. This was the main dump for the shaft. Hoist works would have been over on the other side of where those timbers are, over in there. Gives you an idea of what's down in here. Based on the size of the dump, probably not much more than came out of here than what's here, although if that's a dump over by the road, well, it's probably just the bank of the road over there. They also have a couple of trenches out in here that you can see that look like, again, just trenches they put out here. And we'll walk up this road a little bit and see if there's anything else that we can find, but it's pretty small. Just much up the road, so all we've got is the shaft here and a little waste dump sitting there. And that's about it. Now there is a relatively new cabin as a couple hundred yards to the east of here, and we'll stop and get a little video of that, because if you find the cabin, it makes it pretty easy to find this place. Although the road in about this last eighth of a mile of road I didn't ride in, it's got a lot of down lodge pole on it, so you have to, once you find the cabin, just keep trucking on the road until you get in here. And that should just about do it for the 64, which I'm glad to see, because I've been trying to film the thing now for 2 days, getting it on wrong properties, but this is actually the critter. So that'll be the end of this particular property. Okay, we've walked down the hill now. We're still at the 64 mine. We walked down the hill from the shaft, and you can see the dump for it right there. That's the nose of the dump from the shaft, and right below it, well, I believe we almost missed it, is an old caved adit. It was timbered obviously at one time, it's caved back in there a ways. There's a little short road that goes to the shaft that's right up at the top of this thing, and if we turn right around, we are looking at the dump out here with all these little trees that are growing on it. Obviously nothing's been done in here for many, many years for this adit. Now just a little bit to the east of the adit, over there in the trees, are the obligatory prospect pits, none of which are more than just a couple feet deep. So there is a road now that cuts along in here, goes back out to the main road. I believe it cuts down probably across to the cabin, and it goes by this old adit, and then there's a little spur that goes off up over the top and up into the shaft and the dump that we just described a few minutes ago up there. Okay, so we'll close off the 64 mine with a few shots of all the little trees growing out of the old dump. Dry, everything dry up in here, no water anywhere. Well, we thought we were down at the 64, but in thrashing around in here, we fortunately found what is undoubtedly the main adit at this property. It's totally caved. It's got a little bit of water coming out of it, just a seep. There's not enough flowing anywhere to get a sample. It comes out and it just dies out here on the dump. And again, that dump, like the one we were looking at up above, is fairly extensive in here, relatively flat, heavily overgrown, and sitting right on the dump is a pile of what were undoubtedly mine timbers, and right off to the side of the adit is an old cabin. I'll give you a strike and dip on the bearing on this adit just for the fun of it. There's little roads chopped up all through this country in here. Part of this little creek down here has been plastered. We're looking at about a north 30 east trend on this adit right here. So that adds another working here to the 64. Made it worth our time to finally find it. And we'll see if this is really the end of the 64 this time. Okay, we're still at the L&L mine, EC166, as promised. I'm sorry, the 64 mine, EC159. God, I cannot get that. I just do not want to be at the 64. Showing you the log cabin that obviously has been retar papered and so on by somebody. This used to be the road. This would take you in part of the way to the mine. The best way to get in actually is to come off the major road up above. There's another spur road that comes in. Right behind the cabin is a fallen down pile of timbers where there used to be another little structure. And this is the road I came in on. It only goes out there 100 yards or so before it hits the main road, and if you keep right on going up that road and take the next left, I think it brings you right into the mine workings. We might just add that the last adit, the big adit that we looked at down by the little tributary, is about 100 yards southwest of the, and downhill of course, from the big pit, or the open pit that we looked at, or the pit, the shaft that's up at the top. And of course right next to the shaft is the other little adit. So finally, I think after 2 days worth of work, it's about time to put the 64 mine EC159 to bed, and that will be the last.